Hi guys, sorry. I honestly I don't even know PJ if the intro video is updated flyer wise. I like panicked because as soon as I clicked the live button, my phone rang. So I was like, "Oh no, what do I do?" So I just hit up the intro that I was using like a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks. I don't even know. So I'm not sure if those flyers are updated. If they are found, awesome. If they're still missing, please guys share. Um Before we even dive into Echo's video, I want to share a missing young man out of Virginia. And then we will watch Echo's daughter's update. Kelsey has been doing everything she can to try to find her mom and share information. Her newest thing is to um, they want to raise money to hire a private investigator because they are just getting so frustrated with the police interaction in this case. They're getting no answers, they're getting no response. This is a case that BC and I believe Louisiana Girl are both very passionate about. They followed this very closely since the beginning. This is one that I wasn't as familiar with, but they are adamant about me continuing coverage on Echo. And so I wanted to make sure that we put her newest story out there. It's just so important for this daughter. She has grandkids, she has family that are all missing and wondering where she is. Her daughter says a lot of accusatory things during this video that she puts out. I want to make sure that you guys are clear that those are her words, not mine. And I don't want to say that any one person is necessary to blame for her mother's disappearance. However, I understand where she is coming from in an emotional place whenever things appear to go that direction. And so, she is reacting off of missing her mom for several years and not having information coming from police. And I could see where her frustration and all of that comes from. So let me share Caleb, though. Caleb is missing, like I said, in Virginia. And so he is 24 years old. He's missing out of Henry County in Virginia. He went missing in a white Nissan Versa with West Virginia plates VUH6955. Let me pull up the other post. It looks better. 1 second. So this is from the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Put this out last night. He was last seen a few days ago. It doesn't give us the exact location that he was last seen. People all through these comments, though, are saying about how sweet of a guy he is. They are extremely concerned. This is out of his character for him to not be in contact with his family or his friends and to just up and disappear. And so hopefully this is just a misunderstanding and perhaps he's out there somewhere and just hasn't reached out. Hopefully something like that, and that this isn't an accident or foul play or anything like that. I hope that he is just missing. So this is Caleb, and he is missing. Caleb Jordan Dillard. He's 24 years old, missing in a 2015 white Nissan Versa, Virginia tags VUH6955. So this is a picture of the vehicle, not the exact vehicle, but a similar vehicle to what he may be driving. So again, I don't know the city, just Henry County, but Virginia. But I still wanted to share this out just in case. So let's pull up Echo's video now. Yeah, Echo's case is another difficult one. Exactly. Okay. Oh, wow. Later tonight, Grandma Sherry is having her first live. Please swing in and say hello to her. Tell her Sleuth Mom sent you. Okay, it's tomorrow at 8 p.m. That's so exciting. I'm looking forward to that, Grandma Sherry. We will definitely all be there to support you. Okay, so let's listen to what she has to say here. This video is almost an hour long. We will pause and reflect in different areas throughout. You are going to hear her children in the background. You'll probably hear my children in the background. The reality is we're both moms. I totally understand it. Please do not judge her on that fact. She is a single mom trying to do the best she can to raise awareness about her missing mother while still being a parent and a full-time worker. So please keep that in mind.
Hey. Hey guys. I really don't enjoy doing these, but I know that it's crucial to try and check in. My mom is Echo Michelle Lloyd. She went missing around the week of Mother's Day, May 10th, 2020. She was 47 years young. I can't remember if she was 47 or 48. I believe 47 years young when she went missing, shortly to turn 48 after she went missing. 5'4", about 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, absolutely breathtaking smile. I have absolutely nothing to go off of, no news, no check-ins, absolutely nothing from law enforcement, which is also disheartening for the fact that, I was told in the beginning that we might need to wait a year and a half to 2 years because these kinds of things could take time, but here we are and still absolutely nothing to go off of.
So I'm going to stop right there because already something jumps out at me. How often do you hear a law enforcement agency tell a person from a missing person's family that, well, you just got to be patient, stay off of social media, don't talk about her case at all, this could take us a year or two to solve? Like, that is mind-blowing to me. Why is this law enforcement agency telling her since the beginning that this is going to take a year or two to solve? That is just ridiculous. Like, where is the sense of urgency for Echo? I have never, ever heard a law enforcement agency tell a missing person, give us a year or two. Disgusting.
I have my little, so I'm waiting for him to pop in. Hi, go watch your cartoons. What are you doing? I'm trying to check in with people about Mima. I want to go. You want to go? Yeah. I mean, I'd rather you not, but anyways, so sorry. You want that? Mm-hmm. So, it's been 800. Yes. Shh. It's been 833 days since I reported her missing, and yet still absolutely nothing from law enforcement. I'm extremely frustrated. And I'm trying not to be, because I do understand that law enforcement can have a lot going on, but it's really hard when from the get-go, and doing research, you've noticed how a county has pulled out a lot of stops, went out of their way to look for missing people and make sure that dogs were there, and make sure the correct groups and volunteers were included. And that didn't happen with Mom. I was told not to ask for help. Don't go to anybody. Don't post it online. Please don't go to the media. Which in those moments, you don't really know what to do, because the most you want to be able to do is trust that law enforcement is going to do the right thing. No, baby, don't kick it. No kicking. Hey. No kicking. Okay. Go get your trucks, then you can play with your trucks in here. Go get your truckies so you can play with them on the side of the bed. Okay. I apologize. Single momming over here. So it's been 833 days since I reported her missing, and yet nothing. It's been 840 days since I've heard her voice. 2 years and 3 months since she's been reported. And it's a really weird spot and place to be. I just kind of feel like I don't really know other avenues to exhaust when law enforcement will not allow volunteer groups to come in and help. Law enforcement also will not talk to any advocacy groups to be able to help me. They have told me that that is at their discretion, if they want to or not, as to which everyone has been turned away thus far. So at this point, what I believe is the best route is to try and raise as many funds as we can for a private investigator. I believe that somebody with knowledge, with a good background, and knows what they're doing and does this regularly is possibly going to be my best bet and our best bet as a family on possibly bringing her home or at least getting some answers. We do have a little over $3,000 that was raised on GoFundMe. The rest of that money was promised for reward money, and it will stay as such. So I really would like to ask everyone to please share this as much as possible. Share our GoFundMe, which is Bring Echo Home. And I'll make sure that that's linked also down in the comments so that you guys can easily get to the GoFundMe and pass that on. I know that we initially did say that it would be for rewards, lawyer fees, anything that could come up. And I think that this is what's come up.
So yes, they declined EquiSearch coming out. They declined every single advocacy group that has reached out to her to try to help her. Every single one police have said no to. They have also said no to the FBI and other agencies that she has reached out to try to get them involved. For whatever reason it is, it's almost like her local police department is literally trying to squash this case and avoiding help. I don't know if it is their own selfish egos that is blocking this or what is going on, but it's an atrocity. And so I completely agree with the fact that at this point, she needs a private investigator. And so her GoFundMe is over 4,500 now. Since this video came out, she raised another 1,500. And so it sounds like they are well on their way. There is a couple different private investigators that she has already been in contact with that are reliable, reputable private investigators, not just from, a social media site, but real private investigators that she is looking to hire. Yeah, Benton, Missouri is where she is from. You would launch a corruption investigation, right? It's just disturbing. So let me show you guys her GoFundMe real quick. This is where she's at now. She is at $4,765. And so she has raised a majority of it in the last, since this video came out on August 26th. And so she had raised a lot in the very beginning, 3,000, and now she's raised the last 1,500 in the last couple weeks since the video came out. So this is something that actually I am going to donate to as Sleuth Mom. You guys will see that on there. Just so you know, that's something that this channel wants to support because I agree that this needs to be done.
With there being so much silence, and I can't, we could go out there on foot constantly, but we could also possibly not get anywhere because what if she's not there? What if she's not right in that area? I don't know what her neighbor did to her. I don't know if he sold her. I don't know if he's done something to her himself. I don't know. I feel like we know where all the directions lead to, but there's nothing being done with that. So the most I can ask of everybody is to please donate if you can, to please share this, and share her information, share her stories all the way down, our feed. I know that I'm not going into great detail about the story behind why she went missing. Please visit the other lives also. It is extremely hard to go over it every single day or every time I'm on live, from beginning to end, as to what led to me believing that her neighbor is involved in her disappearance, and that I do not believe that she's just disappeared without a trace. No one really does. And I do not believe that she left to start over anywhere. I do believe that foul play was involved, and my family also believes that foul play was involved. So the most we can do is reach out and ask you guys for help. If you guys have any ideas of different ways that I can do a fundraiser to raise funds for her, please let me know. Please reach out. I'm happy to hear anything and everything that you guys have. Yes, dear, here's your check. You know, any insight is better than none. So here we are, still no answers. 2 years down the road. I'm having a really hard time understanding. So if you guys know of any larger production companies, or, you know, she's been featured in People, she's been featured in Dateline articles, not necessarily like segments. So it's harder to get her reissued in anything, and her story put back out by those places. Not that I'm not willing to reach out to them. Also, please reach out on your own. With me reaching out as myself, that we hope it does something, but a lot of times I don't hear back, and I don't know if my mom just kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and my end of the story gets lost in the shuffle. But the more people that are hollering her voice, the more people that speak about her and write to these people about her, the less that they can put her name on the back burner, the more that they think about her, and she's not easy to forget. If you guys ever want to reach out to us, bringechohome@gmail.com is a good email address for us. Let me go back through these. I'll go back and see if there's some questions and see if there's anything that I can answer. I'm still kicking, Jane. Ups and downs. It's a place that nobody expects to be, and no shoes that any of us expect to be walking in. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Did you get a lawyer involved? So I did actually try to discuss things, but I don't really know what a lawyer could do. And most lawyers that I've spoken to in this state have said that they would not go up against law enforcement within the state. Me reaching out to a lawyer out of this state, I don't even know how much it would cost, and nor do I know what they could do at this point. I'm not sure. I feel like the neglect is pretty obvious, but I don't really know what they could do. I have spoken with a lawyer for professional guidance. There's not much that they're going to tell me to go off of. A private investigator is possibly going to be a little bit of a better bet, which I've spoken to some, which by the way costs about $5,000 to $10,000. $5,000 in the beginning, possibly an extra $5,000 or more after that. So a good private investigator is going to cost quite a bit of money. They're not doing it for jump change. And I found a couple that I'm extremely interested in, but again, I'm a single mama. I don't have the funds. It's my family's not able to just, do that. So we really need your guys' help in pulling together and getting funds together. We have went to in Kansas City and in Springfield. She has been featured on their news channels. Springfield has KY3 has featured her twice, and so has Fox 4, I believe. Those are the only two. We've reached out to as many local news stations, radio stations as possible, and we try to get the word out as much as possible, but that only goes so far. So that's been a little disheartening too. And then Francis, our email is thebringechohome@gmail.com. You can reach out to us at any time. I do know that the neighbor has a Facebook account. I'm not been very quiet with the name, but at the same time, it's just so weird and hard for me to say his name out loud, and nor do I feel like he deserves the recognition. At the same time, it's such a just a messed up mental place to be. Why would they tell you this? It sounds not kosher. I'm not sure what that question even means. Does she have a phone? My mother did have 2 cell phones. She had a T-Mobile phone and she had a Verizon prepaid phone. So the T-Mobile phone, which was her regular phone plan, she did have that phone at all times. Now the Verizon prepaid phone, Josh knew exactly what he was doing. You notice vulnerable people when you're a snake. So it was over time. He had the shed key because he was treated so horribly down at his house that he needed a place to get away. And so she thought, well, at least that's a little bit of his space and he can go in there. Then he wouldn't give the key back. Then he got a hold of the Verizon phone, which the Verizon phone she had in place because where she lived, there's almost no service. With T-Mobile, absolutely not. There's none at all. But with Verizon, there was some reception. There were a couple of bars. You have to stand in kind of goofy places to get reception, but you could. Nonetheless, he ended up with that phone, which I do find it odd that a 30-some-odd-year-old man doesn't have a phone of their own. Again, 2020 in hindsight. So you really recognize the things later down the line. But and I know he had that phone because I saw it in the driveway when I went down there looking for her. I picked it up and he sprinted from the front door to rip it out of my hands. So she did have a couple phones. Again, one was on him personally the day I reported her missing, and the other one was not at her home with the rest of her belongings. Love you, Aunt Kathy. So the 2 people who ended up with the female, the Cassidy Rainwater case, we do not believe that they are one and the same. They've also been raking over that property. If there was anything to do with Mom, they would have contacted us by now. I feel like those were also different jurisdictions involved in that too, I believe. So we have no indication. I'm not sure why that was thrown into the article about the Cassidy Rainwater case. That kind of put everything in an upheaval, thinking that Mom was with them. Again, I know that her neighbor 100% has to do with her disappearance.
So I just want to stop there and remind you guys, this is her daughter, her feelings, what she thinks she knows based off of everything that she's been through over the past couple years. And I just want to, put that out there for purposes, right? We don't want to be blamed for accusing people and different things like that. So, yeah, right. Who dropped the phone, Echo or the neighbor, you wonder? I don't know. It's hard to say, but a lot of these details have been kept private, right? She hasn't really openly spoke or talked about a lot of this stuff because police have been telling her, stay quiet, don't go to social media, don't do this, don't do that. And she did that for a long time. And then after a while, she started putting out these different videos and trying to really advocate for her mom because her mom has been missing for let's see, 2 years. Let me see. I got to see because she puts how many days it is. It's like 800 and what do we got to do here? Two 2 years and 3 months. It was 800 and something days. Oh no, I just lost that, didn't I? So let me show you her flyer while I have this up. She was 47 at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen May 10th of 2020. She is missing in Benton, Missouri, or Edwards, Missouri. This is saying 5'4", 100 to 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She has tattoos. One says "Let It Be" on with birds on her forearm, and then her children's names on her wrist: Kelsey, Case, Caitlin, and Kylie. So she's been missing from Benton County, Missouri since Sunday, May 10th, 2020 is when she was reported. Her vehicle and purse were still at the home, but she was nowhere to be found. There is a reward, this one says, but you hear her talk about during this video that we're doing right now that she thinks that the reward money that they were initially going to use, they're going to use it for a private investigator instead. Yes, same time as Morpheo. 2 years this past Mother's Day. And so it's just frustrating because you see for her daughter in that situation, her daughter's watching the Suzanne Morphew disappearance get so much attention, right? Same time frame, and then her mom gets nothing. And so it's just frustrating. Let me pull this back up and try to find it about where we were.
I really don't enjoy doing these, but I know that it's channels. Springfield has KY3 has featured her twice, and so has Fox 4, I believe. Those are the only two we've reached out to. As many local news stations parked in the driveway when I got there on May 15th. Her keys were not on her. Her keys were one of the only items that were missing. Her vehicle was locked, but the back hatch of the vehicle was broken, and I knew that, and I kept seeing flies all over her vehicle. So I, of course, wanted to find a way to get into that once I realized she was missing and I was back outside. I got into the back hatch. You know, I just kept telling myself over and over, don't touch anything. I climbed through the back. I climbed over the driver's seat, opened the door, and I just didn't see anything. But it did smell like cow manure. And there's a difference in horse manure, cow manure, pig manure. There's a different smell. And growing up out in the country, it was definitely cattle manure. So I found that really odd because we don't live right around any cattle fields, and there's no reason for my mom's vehicle to have smelled like that. But nonetheless, no answers have come there. So no, her car was at home and it was locked. Wallet was inside, ID was inside, money was inside, clothes, makeup, everything of hers was inside the house. There was a pack of cigarettes that were not the typical cigarettes she smoked, which I find really weird. Sitting next to her bed on her nightstand table. Her purse was under the table as it normally would be. My mom would not leave. I don't even know, how do you start over without any identification? How do you do anything without money or anything? So again, I truly believe that foul play was involved in her disappearance. Do you know the last place she went to? The last that I knew was she supposedly went to Walmart on Mother's Day. And as far as I know, she was with Josh the day she went to the Dollar General store and when she went to Walmart. Why none of that has been released, things like that, I don't know. I don't understand. You know, that is a typical thing that you do whenever you're letting people know that somebody is missing. What were they wearing? Who were they with? What vehicle were they last seen in? But again, none of that stuff has been released, which I find really odd. Okay, so you said lawyers wouldn't go up against the law enforcement. I think I don't know. I mean, I don't have all the answers. I've just kind of run through everything that I felt is wrong. When I speak to a lawyer, just here's from literally A to Z of what's going on. Here's where I feel like this is wrong. Here's where I feel like this is wrong. And they don't disagree with me, but they're not going to discuss it much further with me, or they'll tell me they don't know how they can help me. So if you guys know of any lawyers that deal with anything like this, feel free to send them my way, because I'm more than willing to talk to someone who could possibly help us out. I believe there was an attempt to track the phones. I'm not sure. All I keep getting back is they were getting data off the phones. And then it turned to, well, who knows what data could have been gotten rid of. So again, I keep getting roundabout answers. And I don't have access to my mother's stuff in on her phone. They are not going to let me talk to anybody about her bills. They're not going to let me talk to her about tracking her phone. It's like, I'm not the first one that law enforcement and stuff goes to, which I don't know, doesn't feel right, but it is what it is. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, it's been extremely hard. It's been really disheartening. Again, I do have law enforcement in my family. I believe that people that go in as law enforcement officers want to be the best person and be there to truly help people, but there are two sides to every coin, and there are just different people out there everywhere, whether good or bad. And it sucks. It sucks that I feel like I cannot trust law enforcement at all. I don't want to tell them anything. I don't want to talk to them. And I don't. They've told me not to get a. Honestly, that's something I'm going to do anyways, because I'm done. I'm done waiting. I've waited the 2 years, which I feel like I shouldn't have done anyways, but I was told to wait and wait and wait, and here we are still waiting, and they aren't responding to my emails or anything. So
Now, could you imagine a situation where you have a missing loved one, where someone is gone and police tell you from the beginning, hey, this is going to take us a year or two to investigate it. Be patient. Don't talk to anybody about the case. Don't tell anyone that we're not doing our jobs. Don't go to social media and advocate for your missing person. Don't do any of that because, this is going to take us a while. And she listened. She listened to them and she stayed off social media for a long time before she started coming out to advocate. But then for them to start ignoring her emails on top of the lack of communication that she was already getting from them, on top of the fact that they were not investigating, on top of the fact that they never had answers for her whenever she reached out, on top of all of that, and then they stop communicating. I mean, we are watching right now, to bring this into perspective, we're watching Candace Cooley advocate for a new law enforcement agency to take over Dylan Round's case, right? Because she's not getting the answers and communications that she wants from law enforcement in that area. And the internet is behind her. The internet is 100% behind her. Everybody is like supporting her. She's got news stations even putting out articles about needing a new law enforcement agency, all of that stuff. And Echo has no one. Dylan has the family, the internet, and stuff like that. Echo has no one. Kelsey is reaching out for help, and she needs help to get her story out there, to get Echo's story back in the forefront, back in everyone's faces, so that she can get help to figure out where her mom is. They want to know, they want answers.
Different, and you carry it a little differently as time goes on, I guess. Thank you, Francis. I do see that email. Thank you. There's a question on here. I'm not gonna answer that one just because I can't. Do I feel that law enforcement has fully investigated Josh thoroughly? There's a lot of confusion for me around the fact that I know that he's blatantly lied to law enforcement. about things that really matter. And he's still walking. That's information that I got from law enforcement themselves. So, that he lied. But I don't know what the basis of, I don't work in law enforcement, but I just find it odd that there are hiccups in a story that's been told. And yet they're still walking free. So no, I don't feel like they've done anything thoroughly. I find it very odd that 2 weeks after my mother disappears, his grandfather passes away. And it wasn't a regular passing. His back was broken in half. It was severed. Not only that, again, Josh lived at home with his grandfather. And his grandfather laid in that one spot for 3 days before he was found, taken to a hospital, and then died on the 4th day. But yet it was deemed a fall of old age. When law enforcement knew exactly who I said I felt made her go missing, didn't do anything with that. I don't know if they did an autopsy. I actually asked them to revisit this, but if he was cremated or anything, obviously there can't be one. So no, I don't think he's been investigated correctly at all. And I think that that's really weird. I think it's really weird on a state level and a county level. Justice for All is on YouTube. I will check them out. Can you contact Josh? So I actually contacted him the day I reported her missing. I went to his house, which was right down the street. I banged on his door. Again, the interaction was really weird. He then, once I got back up to the top of the hill and to her house, I said, I will be calling the cops within 1 hour. If you do not let me speak to her, you don't let me see her. I did not call in an hour. I called within 3 minutes of being in her home and realizing that something was really wrong. He ended up coming up the hill with a neighbor, which I thought was odd. Tried telling me, oh, she might be this way, or oh, she might be that way picking flowers, or maybe she's in the junk spot, because my mom would go through like where people would dump stuff and she would make art out of it and new pieces. She was an amazing artist with her little quirks. And he ended up coming up there saying things to me, which I was already off the phone with dispatch by the time he came up the hill, but I was terrified. So I called 911 back. All I did was I repeated everything he said back to dispatch. I find his actions in those moments very weird, where he went up the hill, disappeared, and then came back. I find that weird. I find it weird that when law enforcement showed up, they told me to calm down. You don't know that that's what happened. I know that my mother wouldn't just disappear, but okay. So I was there for 6.5 hours. They never once went down to question him. They didn't go to do anything other than walk around her house for that amount of time. And when I was leaving is when they went down to check on the neighbors. Josh was like the last house that they went to, and he tried saying he was taking a nap, taking an effing nap. He's my mom's only friend. The only friend. Doesn't mean he could have introduced her to other people, forced her to go other places, or be around other people. Absolutely, he could have. But he was the one friend that she was consistently hanging out with, and she tried to have a friendship with. So your one friend, you know she's missing because I've come down to your house in distress, terrified, worried, wondering where she is and wondering what the hell's happened to her. And he went home and he took a nap. Told law enforcement he took a nap. He was a disgusting human being, and I don't care. He's a disgusting human being. If I have to come to my mother's house to sit you down and tell you, you have no boundaries, you aren't allowed in this house unless you are invited, do not come back, and they still show up. My mom, again, was a very non-confrontational person. She was a very giving person, naive in certain ways, as am I. And sorry. Okay. I think I'm back. Okay. So I've already contacted him, and I don't know. There's nothing left to say to him. He knows what he's done. I know what he's done. I might not know all the details, but I do know he is the reason she's missing.
Yeah, truth and justice. Calm down. Could you imagine? Awful. Absolutely awful. Yeah, someone she couldn't keep away before that day.
It doesn't suck that I'm her daughter. It sucks that somebody took her from me. I do know again, I think we all possibly have bits and pieces of people that are in law enforcement, in working with the jurisdiction, different jurisdictions and stuff and the court system. But yes, a grandparent, Ray County Sheriff. Yes, law enforcement basically, I feel like has pushed me into the dark. They were not happy when I went ahead and brought news stations out. I mean, again, my own family was upset with me because I was doing everything they told me I wasn't allowed to do, because I feel like sitting down and shutting up was the most odd thing to ask somebody to do when they weren't doing anything to actually find her. They do say they've done some search warrants and different things like that, but nothing's come of that. And again, after 2 years, I really don't trust how in depth those were. And it sucks. The GPS on that phone, it would have been mom's phone. Again, I'm not sure why I don't know. I don't know what law enforcement has done with tracking the data, any of that. I thought by now something would come back because that's what they kept telling me. And that's all they've told me for about the first year to year and a half. And it's been radio silence. I have asked them to come somewhere that I am comfortable to meet because I am not comfortable going and sitting in Missouri State Highway Patrol's office where it's all the state troopers. When I blatantly said that I just, one, don't feel welcome. Two, I have proof of how I've been treated and spoken to. Thank God I got to a point where I'm like, record literally everything. Record everything. No. And so I have proof of that. I have them on audio. And no, I won't just show everybody the audio in case that is something that I need in the future, but I do have it on hand for if and when I need it. And I'm very grateful that I do. I did reach out to the Attorney General. No, they told me that it was what words did they use? A conflict of interest, me going to the Attorney Generals and asking them for help because they are who help law enforcement. So they would not speak to me, nor would they help me. I've also spoken with a couple different senators' office and the governor's office, which both have said that they would not do anything to help me. Adventures with Purpose, they cannot come out. We have already had discussions with Adventures with Purpose. She is not in a vehicle that we know of. Adventures with Purpose only dives for people that have possibly passed on in a vehicle that is submerged underwater. They do not look for people that have been like thrown in water, sunk, anything like that. That's not the type of diving that they do. So they will not come out for her to help, unfortunately. Your mom went missing. So with the Suzanne Morphew case, I do find it really odd that basically what they did is they took into account of what multiple people had said. And I think that probably a lot more stuff has come out. But they arrested Barry Morphew. They also asked for help immediately. They got as much help as they could, not locally, like statewide and more. They reached out for help, for one, law enforcement did. And two, they took Barry Morphew in on the word people. No body, no evidence had been found yet, but they took him in and he was arrested. And yet they have more on Josh from the get-go and nobody's in. At least I feel.
Yeah, we are seeing like so much frustration in her, and you can't blame her, right? This is a situation where, she needs our help. She's reached out to literally everyone she can. She followed the chain of command. She used the open door policy that we see in many types of situations. You know, she went to the police, she went to the attorney general, she went to the senators locally, she went to everybody she could to try to get help. She had EquiSearch offer to come out and help search, but then the police denied them. She needs attention. She needs public pressure on this case so that this law enforcement agency does something, so that they do something, because right now it's nothing. It is nothing, and these families shouldn't have to do it on their own. And Aurora brought up Daniel Robinson. It's the same situation. You know, law enforcement treated it like it was nothing, and his dad has to do everything on his own. And it's why is it some law enforcement agencies are so proud and so like I don't know if it's that they're like stuck up or what is going on, that it is just, it's just not, I don't know. Why don't they help? Why don't they ask for help? Why didn't they bring the FBI in? Why, if they have all of this evidence and all of these things that were wrong from the beginning, that they don't get help? I don't know what's with the cattle poop smell. I don't know. Maybe look in fields. Exactly. Right. We know how fast they work when money or wealth. Right. I mean, look at this case with Eliza, and what happened with her is absolutely devastating. To get kidnapped like she did and brutally murdered. She was found. They confirmed that it was her body today. But look, they got DNA off of a flip-flop in like less than how many hours? Like, why is the disparity so evident? Why is it that the everyday person can't get reactions and help and DNA and everything else? Why is it that it took, you know, Serenity McKinney, it took her family almost 4 months to get her remains back because the DNA wasn't coming back, but they got flip-flop a DNA? It's disturbing, and it shouldn't be like this. Why can our everyday people not get help? No, it's not Adventures with a Purpose's fault. No, absolutely not. You know, you're exactly right. They look for people in a vehicle. Their specialty is that sonar and what they do. So no, not AWP at all, but this law enforcement agency should have reached out for help via the FBI, via whatever, even if it was the state police. I don't know. Something has to happen. She needs help. I just wanted to show you guys too. I did submit a donation. I was only able to do a little bit. You know, this channel doesn't make loads of money. So we did send in a $50 donation from our community to her. Please, if you guys are thinking of doing super chats or super thanks or anything on this video, please send it to her instead. So that she can get this private investigator. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pull his YouTube up. I know that he does. He talks about his case a lot and shares a petition to help get it investigated more. Law enforcement does nothing for him. It's devastating. Yes, Tim Miller was turned away. She needs to contact Amnesty International to represent her mom. I don't even know what that is, but she needs everybody. And it sounds like she has been doing what she can, but everything costs money, right? Lawyers cost money, private investigators cost money. The different advocacy agencies that wanted to come in for free, law enforcement turned away.
They have more on us, should I say. That's my personal feeling. Let's see. My mother was last with Joshua Smith before she went missing. That was the only person she hung out with. As far as we know, the last public sighting that's on CCTV is with him in Warsaw, in 2 different locations. There are also different cameras at another location around my mother's house, multiple cameras with them being seen on it. My mom went missing around the week of Mother's Day, May 10th, 2020. The reason I say that is that on May 10th, when I went to her home to drop off flowers and a card, her car was not home. I did see the receipt from Walmart, and I believe that, I mean, that's what was on the CCTV, was her going to Walmart, but, or was that after that? Was that the 12th? Sorry, I'm trying to think of, there's so much information. When she was seen at the Dollar General, in the Walmart, but nonetheless, she did go to the Walmart, as far as I know. It looked like her handwriting. There was no signature on the receipt. It was handwriting at the top of the receipt that looked like hers. So I gave it over to police that she had went to Walmart then, because by the 15th, her vehicle was in the driveway, locked up, no keys to be found. So between May 10th and May 15th, she went missing. Right, Marie. That's why I asked if people could go back and rewatch the lives, because it's really hard for me to go over 2 years of information, and not just to say it, but like to literally relive and go through this over and over and over again. So as I said at the beginning of the video, she would be 50 years old now. 5'4", brown hair, brown eyes, beautiful smile. About 110 pounds. You fucked the car up. If you read through any articles or anything, I just don't want to start from the very beginning and do it again. I don't.
And so we did do a video recently where we did play a lot of her videos. We didn't play all of them, but we did play the videos where we showed the bulk of Echo's story and what Kelsey has put out. So that is here. It's also on their Facebook page, guys, which is linked in the description of this video.
No, the last name for Josh is Smith, and I did not say he's deceased. His grandfather is who he lived with. His grandfather passed away 2 weeks after my mother went missing of a broken back, dehydration, and infection. Okay, I had to move to a different spot. Let's see. Sorry, I don't know whose grandpa is a sheriff. So I don't necessarily know that they're not doing anything. The fact that it's been 2 years and 3 months with absolutely no word from anybody. I have reached out on multiple occasions and I'm still not getting any answers from law enforcement. That is what makes me feel like they're not doing anything. When they tell me the only thing that they're waiting on right now is possibly data, which of course they're not going to tell me a whole lot more than that. To an extent, I understand. But again, they told me that I should have something going on and some answers by 2 years, and there's absolutely none. They tell me that there's absolutely nothing to go off of. No body, not enough evidence, not this, not that. So again, this is my feeling. I feel like they are not doing shit to bring her home. And it is extremely frustrating. It's been over 2 years and they aren't talking about anything. There's no information out. Again, this is another reason I don't feel like they're doing anything. All volunteer groups have been turned away. Texas EquiSearch has now offered 2 different times to come up here to the county and to the state. Both times have been turned away. Multiple groups with canines have offered to go down there. They have to get the okay from law enforcement. Law enforcement has turned them away. So now that 2 years are down the road, the harder it gets, I guess, to find a body, which is hard
too. So there are multiple reasons why I don't feel like they're doing anything. Along with that, I've actually reached out to missing person advocacy groups because, again, I don't know what I'm doing. I never expected to be in the shoes that I'm walking in right now, but here I am. So they turned them away. He told me it was at their discretion to talk to them or not. And as far as I know, they told everybody they won't talk to them. They won't give anybody anything at all. So they won't even let people help me, which is awesome. The FBI, I have actually called the FBI on multiple occasions. No, they have to be asked by the Missouri State Highway Patrol in order to step in. Each one has to ask up to step in to help them, as to which they. So that's been hard also. We have put signs up. We've actually put many around. Oddly enough, they get stolen, the weather, whatever. There's actually somebody in Edwards that I can't seem to, they've taken her missing person sign, wrote "eat beef" on it and posted it on their house. But nothing's happened with that, you know, even though those were personally bought by friends and family, basically a family member, their own personal money to make sure that these signs were put up. We've also contacted as many stations, TV stations as possible. I have tried to get on a multitude of TV stations. So this has to be a group effort. It cannot be done individually. I will not be able to just accomplish this on my own as much as I wish that I could. I really need you guys to jump in there. And if you guys need me to, I could even type up maybe like a general, you know, email, and maybe if we're all sending the same thing different ways, maybe that could catch their attention too. It's worth a shot. I have contact the mayor. I've tried to contact the governor even, and I've contacted senators and the governor, and they've all told me they won't work. Dr. Phil, I've written into multiple times. If you guys could jump in there and try to help me also. Again, I feel like I get lost in the shuffle, which sucks, but I haven't gotten a response once, and I have emailed multiple times. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to read through these. Okay, Matthew, I'm not sure who you are. I apologize. Maybe there was a little more to the Morphew case, but nonetheless, I have done a multitude of things, even just trying to get volunteer groups involved. The way that I have been treated, as to which I have proof of, I don't know what was popping up on my phone, but I have proof of how I've been treated, and spoken down to, spoken to about this case. That makes me feel that there's something really wrong. I don't know who you are. Some people, I apologize, but I do tend to get frustrated a little easily, especially when you have absolutely no idea. The people that are, nothing new has come. I get really frustrated with the way people think that they can ask questions and talk sometimes. So I apologize if I come off witchy. But it gets very tiring after a little while. And you know, I have had 2 years of this adding up. Different reasons why I feel the way I feel.
2 years of internet trolls, 2 years of frustration with the police, 2 years of people trying to portray her mother as something that she wasn't, 2 years of people accusing and blaming her mother for different things, accusing her family, 2 years of being a victim of internet drama when the case is talked about, or just completely neglected and dismissed. Yeah, the comments on her lives can get horrible. That's why I'm not showing them, BC. That's why I have this full screen instead of showing the comments, because a lot of them just get downright disgusting, downright awful. And it's just sad. It's just really sad. Yeah, in 2 years of not having her mother End of discussion. This is unacceptable and bullcrap. This has become the standard in true crime, though, right? People just attack the families. People just accuse family members and friends and everything else. People just feel like it's the victim's fault, right? It's Echo's fault that she ended up in this situation. If Echo wouldn't have done this, this, and this, then, maybe she would have never went missing, right? That's the type of way that a lot of people are pursuing and talking about true crime anymore. And it's disgusting. People have literally no empathy anymore, and it's so sad. It's so sad. This is a girl who has done nothing but try to advocate for her family, try to advocate for her mom.
Yeah, and I'd rather not talk about the Suzanne Morphew case. That shouldn't even be on here. Again, that I think was just like brought up a little bit. And I was doing that just to point stuff out. But you're okay. I was just using that to kind of point stuff out. And again, I apologize. I do have my kids. I am a only parent. It's just me and them. So it's a constant. They're always around.
I don't want to sound like she has never had a respectful platform, because she has. She has been on some amazing channels and done interviews. She's been on Jason Herbert's. She's been on Duty Ron, I believe. She's been on Gray Hughes, I think. She's also been on Dr. Phil's show. But at the end of the day, all of that press, all of that attention also comes with the bad stuff too, right? And so that's where it gets frustrating. And then once they use you up, once they spin the conspiracy theories so much, and they just spit you out and move on to the next case. And it's just sad, and here she is sitting 2 years. Her case is dying down, no attention for so long. And the police still are doing nothing.
So I don't really want to discuss Suzanne Moore. Okay, sorry guys. I am trying to get just a second of space because I don't like talking about my mom around my kids. This is really hard on me, and it's really hard on them also. So I don't really understand any of this, and it probably does keep freezing. My phone's about to die, and I'm just trying to run around the house like running from my kids. Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if it was? Yeah, I kind of find it odd when people pop in and ask questions like that. Again, there is a group ran specifically to make people think that I murdered my mom, which is absolutely insane to me. When I've been on the forefront of trying to bring her home, and people that do that to other people are not going to be one of the biggest advocates to bring that person home. Just not, especially when they are open and welcome to anything and everything of mine at any point in time. And I'd be the first person to be there to do everything I could to bring my mama home. So I do get irked. It does get a little under my skin. I've had to tell people, please don't send me the clips or the posts that they're posting about me, because what I don't know doesn't hurt me. And everything that's run on that Vantage page is a lie. That's and they're not true. And I'm done dealing with the entertainment page, and I'm done dealing with entertainment people. If you're here just for entertainment and to get under my skin, just go away. Just go away. Like, it's sickening and it's gross. They did search the neighbor's property. I've got a little bug around me. Let's see. Interesting. Keeps being silent. I'm not sure where her neighbor is living now. I don't keep tabs on that. The fact that I know that he's out there living, breathing, moving, doing things, and my mom is not out here with me infuriates me. I don't care what he's doing, where he is. If you're in the area where he is at, keep yourself wary. Keep close eyes on the women around you.
call the Cold Case Foundation. I have tried to reach out to the Cold Case Foundation on a couple of instances. I have never gotten a response. So again, I think this is where I need multiple people to also reach out and try to help me. Give me just a second. Xander, I'll back with your brother, please. Thank you. I'm trying to do a meme on video. Thanks, bub. Okay. Sorry. So I have reached out to the Cold Case Foundation. I believe at least 3 or 4 times. I've messaged on Facebook. I'll send them messages on Instagram if they have that. I will find their email and email them. I have to plug in my phone really quick. I reach out in any way that I can to these big groups, but again, I think I get lost in the shuffle, which is hard. I've spoken with Duty Ron. Duty Ron is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. I've been on his YouTube channel a couple of times. So yeah, you could catch her story there also. That was shortly after she went missing that he made sure she was featured. So I love you, Ron, and I greatly, greatly appreciate you. The reason that Missouri State Highway Patrol says that... Doing what? Hold on a second. You're okay, honey. Come on, let's do something. Okay. Come here and sit with me. Come on. So, no, I understand that her poster says she went missing around May 14th, and that was because her neighbor, Josh, said that that was the last time that he saw her, was on May 14th. So we're going based off of what the person... I don't believe she went missing May 14th. I believe she went missing before that. I don't know about Catherine's channel. Yeah, I've spoken with Duty Ron a couple of times. He is awesome. I've been featured on there already. Yeah, I am learning. I don't know if that's... I find it really odd, the different things that Benton County tries to keep quiet. Gonzo and I had been in touch a couple of times, and then I think he was planning on coming up here. Maybe something got in the way, or I wasn't responding at the time. Again, it's been a lot to handle. Thank you, Michelle. I will check your message and get all of that. I will email Dr. Phil. Thank you. What is happening? Okay, I'm trying to I'm sorry, going through this. I found your lines of... No. Yes, leave it to Bieber. She is amazing, and again, thank you for featuring Mom's story. I believe a couple of times also on her channel. I'm trying to think of... there have been multiple. We've been on the Vanish podcast. I've done I'm trying to think of... I don't know. I could compile a list because I'm completely blanking. Absolutely. Anybody who wants to reach out to the Cold Case Foundation, Dr. Phil, anyone major stream, because again, getting more eyes on her case and paying attention and going 2 years and there's absolutely nothing, that's weird. When there should be something. This isn't one of those disappear without a trace situations. She did not disappear without a trace. So, if you want to reach out, absolutely. Again, excuse me, I would be happy to maybe type something up, just a general idea, or basically here's the gist of her story. We really need help, looking for her, finding her, however we want to word that. My brothers are fighting. Absolutely, please try to contact Dr. Phil. Anybody that you can would be wonderful. Okay.
from the cold case. Yeah. I am not randomly sending anybody over to go interview the possible person who took my mom. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all, unless somebody is hired to do so, again, and is a professional in doing so. And that's investigating what they literally do for a living, or they're a detective. I'm not asking. I do not want random people, you know, I just don't want that. I'm in New York. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. I guess I don't have service in this one corner of my room. Mommy mode all day. Yes. I believe Jill did do a YouTube video last summer. Again, I definitely want to, I could revisit the idea. It wouldn't hurt anything to revisit the idea, but I do have a couple of private investigators. Okay, there we go. So anyways, I do have a couple private investigators that I have in mind. I've tried to do research. I've tried to do some research. I've called around. I've spoken to them, talked to them about different cases that they've handled. So I have a couple in mind, but again, they are going to cost money. I feel like anyone really, I've been lied to. I'm not going to put any specifics out there, just about whether or not they're a real volunteer group, whether they're actually a private investigator, whether they've actually helped find missing people before. It's unfortunate, but some people are out there. I don't know if it's for clout. I don't know. I don't know what it does for them. So I'm extremely careful at this point about who I speak to. I really don't talk about this anymore to just about anybody, and feel that I cannot trust anybody for a multitude of reasons. I'm really diving into the people that I pick. I don't know who you are, Matthew Halsall, and I'm not trying to be rude, but just the way that you're, I don't know how to take your comments, because I know that conversations can be misconstrued via text. I'm just, maybe I'm not, I don't know. Victims Advocacy Foundation, I will try and reach out to them also. Again, I've reached out to 2 different advocacy groups, and I've been told by Highway Patrol that it was at their discretion whether or not they spoke to them so that I could have help. Your family help, you're amazing. Yes, we do have an email address that's going to be bringechohome@gmail.com. And we'll answer anytime that we possibly can. I try to check that fairly regularly. But any information you guys have and you're able to send to me, I would absolutely love that. Any suggestions that you might have, that'd be great. And any ideas on fundraisers, because again, I've got to find a way to raise money so that I feel like something's being done. Because I can't do this anymore. I can't do this, and I can't go out myself and do it. I'm not an investigator. I would love to be one. I also have 2 children. I work full time. I
I don't know how to make the time. I don't know how to have the time and then also have a regular life revolving. So, yeah, at this point, I'm not sure what to do. So, come to you guys for a little bit of help. We appreciate you and love you. My kids are running around the front yard and taking off. So I am going to say ta-ta. You can message us anytime, email us at Bring Echo Home, and please send emails out to those TV groups, production groups. And then if you have any ideas, or different private investigators that you know of, different things like that, please send whatever information or ideas you have my way. I'm running thin, and I'm not 100% sure what to do at this point. I just want her home. I know that my
So that was the end of the video there that she put out. Aurora, I agree. She is so much more polite and nice to the people being ugly towards her than I could ever be. Ever. Like, never in a million years. And I've worked on my temper a lot in my lifetime and have come a long way, but I could never be in a situation where I'm already emotional because my mother's been missing for 2 years, or any family member for that matter. I can never be in a situation where I respond so gracefully to the things that has been said to her. There is literally an entire Facebook group that is meant for attacking her. And you heard her talk about that kind of briefly in this video. People on social media think that it's appropriate to put out their speculations and their feelings and their accusations towards people. And in reality, it ruins lives. It takes away from the cases. It takes away from the focus of where the investigation needs to be and things like that. And so it's frustrating whenever you watch someone going through it. This girl has been attacked from every outlet because she has so adamantly advocated for her mom once she came to Facebook, once she came to YouTube. But because she was silent for a couple months first, because she was listening to what the police told her to do, the police told her to stay off of social media. Whenever she did finally come out and start speaking to advocate for her mom, everyone attacked her. And so you had a few channels that were advocating for the truth, that were letting her come on and speak her truth, letting her tell her story about what happened and put out the details of what she knew and what she was able to say at the time. And then you had a slew of other channels that were made to speculate about what she was saying. And so she's gotten a lot of craziness, a lot. Yeah, it's crazy because she's the one trying to find her. I would absolutely lose my mind. And then she's trying to do this and at the same time being a mom. You hope she is safe. If someone harmed her mother, they're still out there. Does she have family around her? I'm not entirely sure as to how many people. Yeah, then they wanted her to be quiet again. Exactly. But as soon as she's quiet, then the attention stops and the police stop answering her. Like she said, they're not even emailing her back now. I can't imagine a world where I have no idea where my family member is and police are literally not even communicating. Not a weekly update, not a daily update, nothing. She's getting no answers, nothing. Not a monthly, quarterly. I mean, it's been 2 years, 3 months, and almost 4 months now, because this video came out on the 26th. And so it's just not okay. It's not okay. Yeah, you're proud of her. She's very strong. She seriously is. It sounds typical of law enforcement here. That's sad. That's sad, Christina. I just want to say thank you too. I know I said it in the chat, but thank you for keeping her poster up on your food truck. That awareness, those people who come to your food truck to eat daily, That's important that they see her face and are reminded that she is still missing. You know, was there foul play? Could this neighbor that she suspects, could that be a person of interest? You know, could he have done something nefarious to her? Or could her mom have, you know, ran off and left her entire family and her grandkids and all of this stuff that's out of character for her mom to do, right? Is that a possibility? The reality is her daughter doesn't know. Her family doesn't know. And so they need help. They need answers. Rawr. Sorry, little dinosaur just came up. But I just want you guys to please, you know, pray for her and share the information, share this video out, you know, talk about her case again, put it back out there. Keep putting it back out there because now she wants a private investigator, and rightfully so. Whenever you're this frustrated with police, whenever you're getting no answers, it's so important to have someone that is communicating, even if it's for your own sanity, someone who is actively daily looking into the case for her. So please, please share. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here because they are active and crazy. Do you want to say bye? Say bye.
Hi. Hey, Daddy.
Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. That was Junior, guys. That's the baby. So she's saying bye. It's time to go. I will talk to you all later. Please share.
Yummy.